Globalization has been seen as signaling the death of the nation state. People have been talking about the end of the era of the nation state, the demise of the nation state. So, it is time we start looking at what globalization has entailed for the nation state. We did talk about the political aspects of globalization, and one of the major impacts of globalization politically has been the future of the nation state. We also saw that in the new space of postmodernity, which is a space of boundaries rather than borders and of discontinuous spaces, the state-centric division of space, which was seen as natural in the past, does not seem to be the norm anymore in view of the reality of the frequency of border crossings. So, let's explore the question. Let's try to inquire into the question, what does globalization mean for the nation state? And talk about two things before going into what globalization means for the nation state. Let's begin by defining what the nation state is, and then we will proceed to what has happened to the nation state in the era of globalization. We look at particularly with the case examples of case study of India. We have some quick images of how the Indian nation was imagined, and there were different imaginings of the nation, and these imaginings of the nations were buried against the master narrative of the nation, and these discontents of the nations are now finding a voice in the era of globalization. What is a nation? A nation is a spiritual principle resulting from the profound complications of history, a spiritual family, and not a group determined by the configuration of the land. Now, the idea of the nation state, we need to distinguish between the nation state and the nation, although we talk about them in the same breath as if they were one and the same. Nation state is something new in history, but the idea of nation is not really new, because it comes from natio. The idea is of a large body of people united by common descent, history, culture, a language, inhabiting a particular state or territory derived from natus of birth. So, although the nation state is new, the nation is not a new idea. What is a nation? And how does the principle of nationality differ from the principle of race or dynasty as it was practiced in the nations of the past? Modern nation, we would say, is a historical result brought about by a series of phenomena converging in the same direction. It is based on unity, dynasty, will, and general sensibility. What are the principles? Let us examine the principles along which a nation can exist. So, the most common principle along which nations have been organized in the past is primordial right. Like if you always lived in a place and you are born there, or your ancestors were born there, you seem to have a primordial right to a nation. The nations could be based on race, they could be based on language, such as the European nationalisms, for instance, were all linguistic nationalisms, and they were based on nations were divided along the lines of language. They could be on the basis of geography, for instance, the territorial boundaries or a particular regional location. They could be based on communities of interest. So, what we should understand is that nation can be based on any principle. The number of or the principles along which a nation can be based, are really infinite. One can base a nation on any principle under the earth. But in order to understand what a nation is, we must understand that a nation is a soul. It's a spiritual principle, and it's an outcome of a long sacrifice and devotion. It entails expression of solidarity, but it's not eternal. So, there are two parts to the nation, to the imagining of the nation. One is the old memories, the past memories, and the second is actual consent. What does a nation need to come into being? First, there has to be a common memory, a memory to which the community of the nation can return, and the second is the actual consent to form a community, the desire to live together. So, Renan defines a nation as one great aggregate of men of sound spirit, and warm heart, and creates a moral conscience. That is a nation. Nation, the most influential idea in the understanding of the nation state is that of Benedict Anderson in his book Imagined Communities. In Imagined Communities, Anderson pointed out that any community larger than a face-to-face village community is essentially imagined. That is what the title signals to, that any community is not given organic, but it is imagined. And then he proceeds to define the nation. Now, prior to that, we had Ernest Gellner, who had also attempted to define the nation, and in his view, nationalism invents nations where they do not exist. Essentially, Anderson is building on Gellner's idea of nations as imagined, nations as a myth, nation as an invention, and something which is imagined, which does not exist. So, primarily it is a principle which holds that the political and the national unit should be congruent, and that is what gives birth to the nation state. So, now this idea that nation is not organic, it is not given, it is not always been there, it is not an essence, but is something which is produced, it is a narrative, it is a myth, it is an invention. This is a mind-boggling discovery in our understanding of the nation. As many of us believe that nation has always been the nation state has always been there. Everyone must always belong to to a nation. We belong to a particular nation. So, those ideas of ours are challenged by these new understandings of the nation, new explanations of the idea of the nation state given by people by theorists of the nation like Ernest Gellner and Benedict Anderson. Now, let us try to understand the key terms in Anderson's definition of the nation. First of all, he says the nation is imagined, which means, as he puts it, members will never know most of their fellow members, yet in the minds of each lives the image of their communion. So, when we think of ourselves as inhabiting a nation, we might never have met someone who is part of the nation, or are not likely to meet that person all our lives, and yet there is this sense of community, a sense of community which is produced through the public sphere, and as Anderson rightly put it, it came into being with the invention of the printing press, where a community of people could congregate in the space of the newspapers and imagine themselves as a community, as a group. The nation, according to Anderson, is limited, which means even the largest of them has finite, if elastic, boundaries beyond which lie other nations. So, a nation cannot be a vague, amorphous, porous, permeable boundary, in uncertain boundary. It must have a certain limit. So, it is always finite, it is limited. And finally, the third aspect of the nation is that it's sovereign. The concept of nation, the concept of the nation was born in an age in which enlightenment and revolution were destroying the legitimacy of the divinely ordained hierarchical dynastic realm. Nations dream of being free, and if under God, directly so. So, the nation is sovereign. And finally, the nation is a community. It's always conceived as a deep horizontal comradeship. So, these aspects of the nation are very interesting, that nation, even though it's a narrative which is brought into being through the through imagination. It's an imagined community, it's an invented community, it's not given, it's produced by consent, and yet it invites such loyalty, it's sanctified by ties of blood. So, what it needs is a common memory, an affirmation of a certain past, a certain hoary past, around which people, the community which defines itself as a nation, congregates to produce itself as a new nation state. Now, having understood the idea of the nation, the idea of the nation itself, there is a progression from Gellner to Anderson, because in Gellner's idea there is a suggestion that nations are, there is something artificial about the idea of the nation being an invention, that is something fabricated. But in Anderson's idea, in the use of the word imagining instead of inventing makes it a more organic kind of imagining and a more positive understanding of the invented or the produced aspect of the nation. Now, so to summarize what I have said so far, I have tried to define the nation, and I have tried to show how the nation states or the state centric division of space, which we take as natural, has not always been there. It's a comparatively recent invention. It's a product of the modern era, when the whole world was divided into a series, carved into a series of nation states. And with globalization, if we read it together with the idea of the space of the nation state as or end of modernity as discontinuous, and the space of post-modernity as continuous, porous, we find that the era of the nation state seemed to be merely one phase in the history of civilization or the history of the world, which seems to be coming to an end in the views of some scholars and the views of some theorists of globalization. But it's almost more than a quarter of a century since people have been portending the death of the nation state and seeing the dirge of the impending demise of the nation's state. And yet the nation state continues to survive, it continues to live on. So, let us now examine the question, has the nation state become extinct, or does it still have any relevance? So, the idea is that the nation state has the power of the nation state has been undermined, severely undermined in the era of globalization for two reasons. For the threats to the nation state from without and from within. And these threats from without constitute the threats from transnational formations. I am not talking about transnational corporations alone, but transnational formations which increasingly have a role in the governance of the world as compared to the past, and the emergence of micro-nationalist movements which threaten the unity of the nation from within. Now, the emergence of these new power structures in the global era, the international organizations as well as transnational corporations, they have severely restricted the sovereignty and diminished the power of the nation states. But have they really become extinct is the question. In the view of Saskia Sassen, the nation state hasn't really ended, but there has been a transformation in the idea of the nation state, in the sense that expansion of the privatization and marketization of the public sector functions in a number of countries has resulted in a global concept of regulation as efficiency. Now, because of this, the ideal of the regulatory state has given way to the competitive state whose norm is to maximize efficiency. So, in other words, the nation state is not dead, only the idea of the nation state seems to have been altered through its transforming from a regulatory state to the competitive state. The idea of the nation state has changed in the present era. Now, while others feel that the nation state has been largely marginalized in the era of globalization, among them we may name Prabhat Patnaik, who says that the rise to dominance of financial or rentier interests and the fluidity of finance across national borders, which we saw was enabled through the flows of money across the space of flows in as defined by Manuel Castells in Arjuna Padurai's idea of financecape. And according to Prabhat Patnaik, the fluidity of finance has undermined the control area of nation states and made all agendas of state intervention appear vacuous. And this has led, according to him, to the integration of the world into a single economic system after globalization has considerably weakened the sovereignty of the nation state. So, as I said right at the beginning, we cannot really separate the economic from the political, or the political from the cultural, or the economic from the cultural when we talk about globalization, because each aspect of globalization, the communicational, the political, the economic and the cultural, they all seem to be interwoven. So, the formation, the globalization of the economy, for instance, has also had a political impact, very significant political impact in terms of the diminishing power of the nation state. Now, there has been a reordering of political hierarchies with the emergence of these new powers in the global era. The first is what Prabhat Patnaik calls denationalization of statehood, or the transfer of power located at the national territorial level in two ways. How does this denationalization of statehood takes place? It takes place first because there is a transfer of power upwards to supra-regional or international bodies, and on the other hand, it is also downwards to regional or local states and outwards to autonomous cross-national alliances. So, we can see in the case of India the increasing power of the region in the era of the nation state, and not just the increasing power of the region, and this power of the region comes from the transnational alliances that regions are able to form across national borders, say the consolidation of Sikh nationalism, which is transnational rather than national, which is both regional and transnational. Similarly, the idea of the Tamil Eelam, the new idea of the transnation or a new nation, which are emerging because of the transfer of power downwards. The second aspect of this or reordering of political hierarchies is the process of destatization, or the transfer of particular activities to parastatal, non-governmental, commercial, not-for-profit actors and institutions or regimes. So, according to Alan Wood, the world today is more than ever a world of nation states. It's not the nation states do not seem to have disappeared from the world, because capital requires is still the idea of the free market or global capitalism, which is presumed on the notion of the non-interference of the state, is really a myth, because global capitalism is still nationally organized and irreducibly dependent on national states. So, the nation state is far from dead. So, we conclude with posing the final question: will the nation state survive globalization? And Martin Wolf has the answer. Martin Wolf dispelled fears about globalization as destroying governments' capacity to do what they want or need, particularly in areas of taxation, public spending and macroeconomic policy. He says that states haven't really become redundant in the global era for a number of reasons. One is, since capitalism operates in a social and political context, the structures of the state that provide these frameworks are absolutely essential for economic activities. And two, identities of people converge on states, and finally, states guarantee stability, that is the bedrock of international order. So, we may safely conclude that the fact that cooperation and regulation are required as a consequence of the complex and transnational nature of contemporary global issues has led scholars to announce the death of the nation state. Some of these believe that the state will adjust to globalization, while others believe that it will play an active role, and some believe that it will die. Let us look at some concrete examples to inquire what has happened to the nation state. One of the most conspicuous examples about the impending death of the nation state is the example of the idea of Khalistan, which Arjun Appadurai said that offers a new kind of post-Westphalian formation. It as an example of a micro-nationalist movement, which has a history which dates back, whose history dates back to the era before independence in the beginning of the 20th century, but which really an idea which really emerged in the diaspora, because the renewed call for Khalistan was made in the diaspora rather than the nation, and it was events in the nation such as the storming of the Golden Temple, in Operation Blue Star, and the anti-Sikh riots after the assassination of the former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, that alienated the Sikhs not only within India, but more so in the diaspora, and this alienation of Sikhs, particularly in the diasporas, who had no real insight into events into the ground realities, were highly influenced by images of tortured Sikhs on Sikh websites. Images of tortured Sikhs circulated on newly formed Sikh websites on the internet, and these internet images of atrocities against the Sikh, along with the virtual communities and the possibilities of communication between Sikhs across the world, enabled the formation, the renewal of this, the desire for Khalistan, a desire which dates back to an earlier era, but which was consolidated, which was mobilized through internet technologies, through new media technologies, consolidated in the virtual space, and it became a reality. So, when the demand for Khalistan was renewed, it was the diaspora which led this movement for the formation of Khalistan. And uh, it also offers an example of a nation without a territory, because it's a geography without territory, as Appadurai puts it, because the reality, I mean, it's only an idea, and an idea which unites Sikhs across the world, but it doesn't really, it hasn't been given a material shape up to now, because all those who are talking about Khalistan, what exactly will be the boundaries of Khalistan, what areas it would comprise of, those ideas are still very airy-fairy. They don't seem to have been formulated clearly, and yet the idea. So this example of a nation of Khalistan seems to point to new communities of the future, whether they become a reality or not, but they offer the possibilities of new communities which are regional, at the same time they are transnational, and they are communities which can really bypass national boundaries, because the connectedness between Sikhs in Punjab and the Punjabi Sikh diasporas overseas seem to bypass the national boundaries, and the imagination of a Sikh nation, which is based not on territory or physical space or spatiality, but on everyday practices, on certain gurus, on the idea, on religion, on religious identities, on certain holy places, on certain everyday practices, rather than a physical space. So all these point to the new idea of the shape that the new nation state, even if we think that it dies, might take in the future, where it is disengaged from territory, it's disengaged from its physical spatiality, and it is transnational in the sense it's virtual, it may not exist in reality at all, and it's transnational that it may be formed across existing national boundaries. And similarly, we have other examples, for instance, the idea of the Tamil Eelam, which was again transnational and regional in the sense that it united Tamils within India and Tamils within Sri Lanka, with Tamils across the world. So the idea of the Tamil Eelam as the idea of Khalistan offer similar ideas of the transnation or the post nation, which is possibly an idea of the shape that the nation might assume it at some future date. The other aspect of other than micronationalism, the transnationalist idea of the nation state is best exemplified by the power of the transnational corporation. The transnational corporation, which Babar has memorably named the world formed by the transnational corporation, which Babar has memorably named Macworld, again shows how the economic clout of the transnational, the economic power of the transnational corporation undermines the sovereignty of the nation state, and how the transnational corporation does not really see the nation state, the world in terms of nation states, but only in terms of localities or sites, disregarding the boundaries of nation state, except when it obstructs its own movements. Other than that, it seems to look at nation states as mere obstacles in its worldwide spread. So the world created, I mean, the nation created according to the transnational corporation, the Macworld, is again another alternative to the nation, which undermines the authority or sovereignty of the nation state due to the increasing power of the transnational corporation economically, because of the globalization of the economy. And one talks about how the Coca-Cola and Company, for instance, or McDonald and Company are not a multinational company, but they are a local company with many offices. So this kind of rhetoric which transnational corporations use to conquer and to conquer new territories, new markets, creates a dystopic nation, a commodified nation in which people get disengaged from the spatiality of the nation states to see themselves as belonging to particular organization, particular corporations, to a new world, commodified world created by the transnational corporation, rather than the political nation state. When people say, oh, when they talk about the culture of the Google culture or the Microsoft culture or Yahoo culture, they seem to distance themselves from the material space or the material identities or material realities of the nation states within which they actually live. So with this, we conclude the section on the nation state and how the nation state's power has been increasingly diminished by two factors. One, through the emergence of transnational organizations, not just transnational corporations, because it's these transnational organizations which seem to have increasing power in the governance of the planet. They seem to have planetary powers, and the nation states are governed not by any particular transnational corporation, but juridical procedures which masquerade as objective procedures, which are really created by transnational corporations, to which nation states are expected to bow down, to kowtow to, and which really govern the economies and control the sovereign, undermine or diminish the authority of nation states even in their own internal matters. And secondly, the emergence of the micro-nationalist movements, which seem to have received a new fillip through the support they have received from transnational corporations, through the support they have and through their ability to mobilize themselves globally through new and improved communication technologies, makes us rethink the idea of the nation state, if not announce the death of the nation state.